It's like my whole life, 46 years of collecting things.
What if you boxed up and handed over every single possession you own?
Every photo I've ever taken of my daughter and my dad and his grandparents.
Every keepsake, every reminder.
I found handwritten letters from my grandparents to each other, written in pencil from 1940s.
Every sentimental and physical thing of value. And then simply watch as it's carried off by hired strangers. No, not to your new home, but possibly lost, where you may never
Things you can't ever replace.
see it again.
You've just absolutely lost everything in your life and you can't get it back. And I think the worst part is not knowing where it is. Is it still in
Kim Adams' cross-country move from Salt Lake to Mississippi is a devastating tale. But the apparent loss of her property is certainly
Basically, I just cried for days.
not unique. The nightmares happened to Elizabeth. It's happened to Larry.
I was beside myself. I couldn't even function as a human being.
It's happened to Holly. It's happened to Joan.
It was the move from hell.
It's happened to Thomas and Hannah.
It's frustrating, it's garbage.
And it's happened to thousands of others nationwide in the past year alone.
It was an awful experience.
Simply put, the moving industry has been the target of a truckload of complaints. And while there's no one single reason why, the data is overwhelming. Just take a look at these numbers here from the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, and you're going to get a better idea of what is going on. In the last 9 months, nearly 23,000 very specific complaints have been filed, holding your property hostage, loss, damage, pickup times, delivery times, and the most common.
It was way over our initial estimate.
I think almost $1,700.
$1,800 more.
$4,300 over.
Original estimates are not matching up with the final charges. And the primary reason for that
Can we do that over the phone or you guys come here?
We do it over the phone, sir.
may be this. You're looking at a real-time moment when our friend John Acarino is getting a phone estimate from a company he quickly searched and found online.
2 tall bookshelves,
Questions are asked,
Like 6 feet tall.
6 feet tall, that's right.
answers are given.
A Peloton bike, 2-section couch, antique nightstand.
And within 30 minutes,
Bringing your overall move cost down to $95.23.
there you go, an estimate for the move, $9,500. No official measurements, no official weights, no official inspection, yet the estimate is very official. Let's look at the paperwork here. There's dollar signs, numbers, fine print, you got everything. But hey there, John, before you go signing that contract,
We are a referral service, also known as a broker.
hopefully you had a chance to read over subsection 4, where it says a customer has hired the moving group as a moving coordinator / shipper agent / broker and not to handle or otherwise participate in a move as a carrier. In short here, these guys bidding out your stuff are not physically moving your stuff. They're a broker, which means you're essentially paying them to coordinate and hire some random unknown mover. And once you hand over that down payment, turns out the broker's estimate does not always match the mover's price.
So it seems like now you have double what we first quoted you.
He whips out a new contract for us, raises the price.
Almost like $2,000.
Now that's a big difference in dollars, and the reason for that difference is often because the broker's calculations over the phone
You charge by weight.
Your square footage.
Cubic feet you're taking up.
are very different from the mover's calculations on site.
And he's like, no. You have way more cubic feet.
You got it.
It's never accurate. I don't think we've had one experience that it was accurate.
That's Matt Irvine, owner of Utah-based Smart Move, and when hired by a broker to do a job,
These are the heaviest items. This is all I know.
he says the information handed to him is minimal at best, which means when he shows up for a move with not enough trucks or not enough workers,
I've had customers yelling at my face a foot away.
it gets very uncomfortable.
Customer thinks they're getting white glove service, full pack and load, full delivery, full unload, and we show up with a piece of paper that says it's a couch and a piano.
Matt says he gets burned by the brokers almost every time. And while that means he often takes a financial hit, in many cases, the movers
They loaded up the truck.
After everything was loaded,
After it was on the truck.
are not so forgiving.
And then they said, well,
It's going to be this much more.
No, it's got to be more than that.
so it was going to be more money.
Oftentimes, these movers will hold your property hostage until you pay extra. It is the fastest growing complaint in the moving industry. And if you're wondering just how bad it's become,
almost doubling from about 2 or 3 years ago.
the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration's Mira Joshi says it's getting out of control, to the tune of 16 hostage complaints every single day. And while their job is to keep movers and brokers in check, out of the tens of thousands of complaints so far this year, congressional reports show just one company fined and 13 people guilty of moving fraud. The reality is, by the time some of these complaints come in,
We can't find them anymore, right? Because they may have given false information about their contact, a bad email, a bad telephone number, and too much time has passed and we can't find them.
and let's be honest here, both you and the feds cannot find or even contact the mover.
We would text him and call him.
Every day.
Didn't hear from them, didn't hear from them.
Additional problems may easily follow. Problem of delivery.
It was over a month.
3 months.
Over 2 months.
Yeah, about 2.5 months in.
The problem of damage.
Dishes are broken, glasses are broken.
And the most devastating problem with every single one of these moves.
They would not give me the address of where my stuff was.
Nobody could find their stuff.
Yes.
Elizabeth didn't know.
Just a game of hoping.
Larry didn't know. Holly didn't know.
No one could tell me.
Joan didn't know.
They wouldn't tell me.
Thomas and Hannah didn't know. Well, that is until
They gave us a storage unit in Vegas.
months later when their move to Virginia was discovered in Nevada,
Man,
along with the property of 2 other families.
stuff all the way back.
A bittersweet recovery
Tell me where it's stored, where it is, and I will be happy to come get it.
that Kim Adams was hoping to experience just weeks later.
I just don't understand it. I don't understand it.
She traveled back to Salt Lake in search of her property. As she showed up,
They said it went to auction.
it appears her move to Mississippi made it only as far as a storage unit, just 3 miles from her home in Salt Lake.
I could have had family come get it. It was just so close.
Police say the mover dropped it off and stopped making payments on the unit. By the time the KSL investigators helped to track it down, her belongings were gone. The mover nowhere to be found. The moving company no longer exists. And the broker coordinating this whole thing
It's
has gone completely silent.
the hardest, worst thing I've ever been through. I feel like part of me's died. I mean, I have nothing.